to Caribbean House Talk. And Caribbean House Talk, we cover the issues from funny to curious and even tearfully serious. Oh boy, in today's Caribbean House Talk, we have quite a lovely show lined up for you. We're -1 at this point because Lady H is supposed to be making it here, but there was a little bit of a delay. So we're not sure if she can join us, but we certainly carry on. At today's Caribbean House Talk, we have quite a bit of issues to cover. And of course, we always start off with a spicy dish. So ladies, are you ready to roll?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so today's Caribbean House Talk, we're going to start off with Alma.
Sure.
Picking the topic.
Okay, here we go.
First topic.
Alrighty. Okay. Can you date or marry someone who doesn't stimulate your
Intellectually?
Intellectually.
Yes, intellectually. Can you date or marry someone who doesn't stimulate you intellectually? Since you pick it out, I'm going to let you start.
Well, honestly, I would, because you never know. You never know. It doesn't have to be a one-way street when it's come to dating or marrying. This is where you grow, this is where you learn, and if you are the intellectual person and your other half is not, then there's where you can really be in control and in command and teach them a thing or two, you know, and be that person who like groom your other half to be what in the place where you want them to be, so yeah, I will.
I think for me, and I don't necessarily mean it has to be book smart. I think for me, you have to be able to hold my interest some kind of way, and I don't think you can teach somebody that. That's just my feeling. You can't teach somebody to stimulate. I'm not talking you have to know all these things about geography and history and be well learned. I'm saying if you're not able to hold an intelligent conversation and keep my interests, what is interesting? Stories you tell me, or it's something you tell me about that I didn't know. You have to be able to hold my interest a little bit, because then I'm going to get bored.
Well, on that note, I don't think that you need to be on the same level, because there's where the yin and the yang comes in. On that, what you just said is like, okay, you have to do something to hold my interest. No, that person, whoever it is, they already have that equipment down pat, because they have a part of them that could be very interesting to you that you don't even know until you actually get into a relationship with this person and say, oh my God, I didn't know you were such a, But everybody has something. And I think we all learn from each other.
But when you're talking and you're, dating and on the phone late at night and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think it's really tricky.
It is a tricky.
You want to, I mean, we don't say we're not going to date somebody who's intellectually stimulating, but if they can't keep your interest, you're not going to want to be with the person. You have to have something in common. And I'm not saying that it's a matter of somebody with a college education and not. That has nothing to do with it.
Right.
But the person has to be able to pique your interest and your curiosity, and hopefully teach you and you teach them.
Right.
In time, you're gonna find out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Some of that, what I said, is based on what you guys are saying. But what I'm saying, honestly, is I don't think that it is tricky. But I think that everybody have some sort of knowledge about something that they can actually hold your interest. Depends on what you are looking for now. If you are looking for a total different something that you might say, oh, he's so childish, he's so this, he's so that, that's a different thing. But then if you really love that person, that conversation will become interesting to you, because this is what he's trying to relate to you. And you will put yourself in the place where you can actually understand and come down or go up to where he is to get what he's saying to you. And I think by that, conversations make conversations. He's telling you his thing, you guys are talking, you're relating. You have your story, he has his story. So he might be saying something that might not interest you, but you might be saying something that interests him, and we're talking
But
back
hopefully
and forth
something,
and stuff
something.
like that. You know,
But
it would work. It
but
would work.
But
You just
hopefully, no, I
make
don't think
it
so.
work.
But
Make
hopefully,
it work.
I don't think it would
Love
work.
conquers all.
No.
Make it work.
Mm-mm.
Let me tell you something. If
Make
they're
it work.
boring, you won't even get
You
to
won't
the
even
point
get
of
to the love part.
That'll never happen. You
Listen.
start dating someone, and if they're just, you're gonna know right away, you know, this person is just not of interest to me, and you're gonna walk away.
Okay. Yeah, if I'm with someone, they don't have to have an educational background like mine, but you have to be able to hold me, hold my interests, because I get bored pretty easily. So I'm sorry, I can't be with somebody. For instance, there's a gentleman who liked me, and I actually like him. But when we talk, I don't get a sense of he might be able to hold my interest. And there's another gentleman that liked me. Not necessarily like him, but I find I like to talk to him. Like I like to have a conversation with him.
So what do you want? What you looking for?
I want to put them together.
That's not gonna happen. That's why you have to
families.
choose the one that you think.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to, eventually you gotta go with the person who's gonna keep your interest.
Yeah.
And if the person can't keep your interest, you don't want them.
We are from a
There
different.
is no love. You're not gonna fall in love with somebody. You're
If
dating
it-
at this
yeah.
point, and if you're on a date and the date is boring and can't hold a conversation
You're gonna go
that
deeper?
can keep your interest, you're not gonna keep dating it.
You're not gonna go any
Okay.
deeper.
I guess.
Let's agree to disagree.
Okay, I agree to disagree
Okay.
with you guys, but I guess the dating thing I didn't do much of. But whenever I date, whoever I did date, I end up marrying right now. But I didn't do much of it. So it's really, and my husband keeps my interest very well, because even if the conversation is boring, he makes me laugh.
Right, and he keeps your interest. But I'm telling you, if he was a boring guy, that you feel like when you're having a conversation, like whatever you're saying is way over his head, or he doesn't seem to have much interest, and you don't seem to have much interest, you're not going to even go farther much as to be married the amount of years you're marrying.
Yeah,
So that's what you're saying.
And I listen to my daughter right now. She's had people that she's gone out with, and it was like, oh no, it's like he doesn't even know what I'm saying, you know, he doesn't get it. You don't waste your time on a second and third date. Maybe you might do a second to give him a chance, but after that, it's like, why bother?
Yeah, why are you
keep
gonna bother?
seeing somebody that clearly doesn't keep you interested?
I guess we all have different
Yeah.
views on this whole intellectual thing, because to me it's like,
And intelligence does not mean I have a bachelor's degree. That's
Right,
not what
that's
I'm talking
not
about.
it. I know.
I'm saying
I
being
know.
able to. What is that? He tells you interesting stories. He keep you laughing. He can take you back to time and whatever, and just really interesting. My second marriage, the one thing that we had in common. We both are talkers. We love to talk. So we'll get up like on a Saturday morning. Not get up, but we're in the bed and we just talk. It wasn't cuddling up. It wasn't just talk. That was what we enjoyed. He kept my interest. And people would look at me and say, what the hell did you see in him? Intellectually, he stimulated me. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about.
okay.
But let's agree to disagree.
I agree.
I can't deal with boring. I'm going to be the next topic. I'm going to pull the next topic out. Does your spouse know how much money you make? No, I'm not married, but I'll tell you about when I was married.
Yes, mine does.
It does. What about you?
Yes.
Yeah.
No?
Oh boy, okay, here comes a story. Let me take a drink.
No, I didn't, because I think both situations was where it was getting financially abusive, where I was pulling out and being the one who had to take responsibility. In the beginning of the first marriage, it was not that way. So you find that I was able to, we shared everything, we did whatever, but at a certain point as I become more well employed, he become more financially responsible. And at that point, I'm like, I start filing with him. And at that point, I'm like, I'm not going to tell you how much I'm making, because I thought at the point that he started being like that, he felt, oh, she got a good job now. And I took care of her before she had the good job, so no, she's going to take care of me. The second one, I never let him know what I made. So, okay, let's say you got married again or something, God forbid, Okay. And your portfolio is no longer with you, and you got in a new relationship. Would you trust that person? Let me put it that way, because you guys have long-term marriages. You know, you don't have the experience I had. You know,
Right.
so would you let that person know what you made? Let's say you're living with them. You don't necessarily be married, but you let them know.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm really messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I would not.
The only
I
way
think
that you
it's
would not let
important
somebody
for-
know is if there's a reason for you not to trust them.
I guess my
Otherwise,
trust
I don't
issues.
see what the big deal is.
Honestly, I think
You know what it is, ladies? My picker is all the way off. I've never had a good picker when it comes to men. I'm going to be honest. That's my problem. Smart when it comes to business and academic stuff, not when it comes to picking men. My picker is off. So I think with that picker being off, I have been abused at times with some relationship. I think it shaped how I look at that. Because I'm looking at you two ladies and I'm like, what's the big deal? With me, it's like, hell no, you're not going to know what I make. And it says
Not
to me.
initially, of course, but
Of course not.
by the
Shouldn't.
time you are ready to marry somebody and you're in a marriage, you've been together a while. So these are things that I would think that you would have talked about, and there shouldn't be so much of an issue. You have to be open to each other. Now, you know, the word is being open to each other. If I give you information, I need to be able to get information too.
Mm-hmm.
And based on, I think maybe like you said, because maybe the men may not have been as responsible as they should be, it gave you that reason to mistrust and not disclose all your detail.
Right.
You know, and it happens. I don't see anything wrong with that, but my initial thing is always honesty and being upfront. And so in time, I think you should be able to talk about money and money matters and how much.
So in other words, I think what I'm coming away with, you guys don't even have to tell me, is that my experiences, because they were not pleasant ones in terms of the fiscal irresponsible type of thing, it shaped how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
think
that
so.
that it's a problem in telling somebody what you make if you're in a serious relationship,
Right.
or living together, married, but it's that who you're with, and I
Yeah,
think that's what I
think
have to
that's
walk
what
on.
it is.
My picker. Okay, you guys might be noticing that there's an empty chair on the side there, because the lady she's supposed to be making her way here. There was a little bit of a delay, so if she comes, she'll just slide right into position, and we continue on with the show. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, going back to your question, I think too it has to do greatly with trust. You have to be able to trust someone.
Absolutely.
And once you're in that relationship and it's a trusting relationship, everything is on the table. Because there's sometimes when you might need that that support, in a sense, in the relationship at the time. Suppose you lost your job, you're not working, your husband alone is working. You gotta know what is not coming in and versus what is gonna be coming in and stuff like that. So you have to bring everything to the table. It has to be an open book when it comes to marriage and relationship. When it's trust, you have to trust. If you don't trust, you have nothing.
I think that's the key. I think that's the key.
You
That
said
is the
it,
key.
Alma, that's the
key.
word.
I didn't
It's a
trust,
matter of
and I had
trust.
good reason not to trust, but I shouldn't have been in there where I'm not trusting. I should have not even made it get that far, you know.
Yeah.
And when people see me today, like I'm very picky about dating. I'm very laid back about it. They may not understand, but I know until I heal me properly, I'm bound to go that same road again. And right now, though, I don't think I will go that road. I went to the opposite end. And I think there's a middle ground that we could reach where just be wiser, be more wise about your choices, and get to know people before you're getting serious or getting, you know. I think that's what I'm learning from all of this. Because to me, I will not that easily let anybody know what I make.
But the thing is too,
Because of that experience, and it's a shame to let that, because
that be an issue.
right, because if the person that you're with is a responsible person and they have their own stuff, they're not gonna take advantage of you just because they know you make a decent income, you know.
Some of them do.
Right, but I'm
Yes,
saying,
they do.
but I'm saying if it's a decent person and they're there for the right reason, when they do that, they're not decent people. They may not be horrible people, but they're not decent people, and that there's something there that is, you know. So, you know, that's my feeling.
You see, the older you get, the more wiser you become when it comes to certain issues of life. And that too could be an impediment to the relationship because you're so smart about things now that every little thing will trigger you. And that comes with, age comes with honor. And me in my state right now, where I am at this point in my life, I don't think I can go out and date somebody and be that all open and trusting the way I was
with
30
your husband,
years ago.
right?
Yeah, I can't do it.
And he was clearly worthy of your trust.
Of course, because
The ones I had were not worthy of my trust, and so that kind of, I have to be honest, has have clouded me in terms of how much I trust. But I think what I have to do is pick more carefully.
You don't,
You know
when
what,
you meet somebody, you don't
trust
necessarily have that trust. It's something that's earned, and it's by the way they treat you and all of that. That's when trust comes in. And without it, yes, the things that you're saying are going to make sense. I'm not going to tell you my business if I don't trust you and I don't think you're fiscally responsible.
Yeah, this is a hot topic.
Yeah, it's a hot topic. I was married to that guy we were together for like 10 years. And if he ever seen a paycheck for me, that accidentally. Because I was like, once I saw that he was not responsible, I was like, I'm not letting this dude know anything about what I make. If he would have known what I made, it would have been that he peeked at like our tax returns. And I was always very careful in even that, like making, because I'm like, even with the tax return, you're like, why am I even filing with you? You're not contributing anything significant here. But when it's time to collect that money at tax time, oh, let's file together. You know, so I think that kind of shaped me. But I would say, ladies, walking away from this, what I say is be careful how you pick, careful that you know people before you're getting into serious relationships with them. That means living with them or marrying them or sharing any kind of life with them. And that way, and making sure, you know, like Alma said, that it's a trustworthy relationship. And then those things doesn't matter. Don't let my little paranoid because my bad experiences cloud your judgment.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, we got one more. Really good.
One more spicy dish topic.
Let's see. Would you put your parents in a nursing home?
That's tough. It's
me
really
tell you.
a tough one. It all depends. I would say, am I jumping? I hope I'm not.
No, I'm gonna let you go ahead and then I'll say something.
I think that's really like a heartbroken kind of decision you're gonna have to make when that time comes. Because you could be in a position where you can't properly take care of your parents and you would need that help, and you put that parent in a nursing home and make sure you visit and make sure everything is okay and stuff like that. Sometimes it is a very stressful situation. It's a very stressful period of time in someone's life. And at the same time, you can keep your mom home and have someone come and take care of that your parents, whichever it is, and that your parent is with you. But it all depends on how much you have to put into, how much time you have to put into the situation to actually take care of your parent. Back in the islands where we're from, we take care of our parents. But here, it's a total different ball game when you have to work and go every day, sometimes all day, all evening, late into the night, and leave your sick or disabled parent at home with someone you don't even trust again, to the full extent that you don't know that person so well. That person's in your home, you know, things are there. And having, in terms of having her in a nursing home or him in a nursing home, where you know they've been properly taken care of, professionally taken care of, not really necessarily properly, but sometimes, you know, they're professionally taken care of. They have to be lifted and turned, and, you know, and it's a toll it can take on you, but then it's an individual decision that you have to make with yourself and yourself to get to that point. And for me, I never had the experience. But it's something
I think Lady H is here, so we'll let her come in and slip into her place. Hello, Lady H. She's gonna make it into her seat. She just arrived at the studio, and we're gonna have her. Right? We're gonna be right back and continue this discussion. You are watching QX TV, Cultural Experience Television. We will be right back. Visit Elias Restaurant, a unique Greek Caribbean fusion restaurant where the food is heavenly, the service divine, and the ambience mesmerizing. Enjoy bakes and saltfish, roti, jerk chicken, curry chicken, stewed chicken, stew fish, oxtail, curry goat, stew turkey, pea soup, Colford soup, sour beer, ginger beer, Slovakia dinners, clubhouse sandwiches, and so much more. Visit Elias Restaurant, located at 3310 King Street in Toronto, Canada. You are watching Caribbean House Talk. All right, we had to take a quick break so that Lady H, who arrived, she had a little bit of a delay, but she arrived. We wanted to give her a chance to position herself, to slip into position. And we're going to continue on with the topic of the nursing home. Would you put your parents in a nursing home? And I'm going to pick up from what you were saying. It is an individual decision that people have to make, and sometimes it becomes complicated when you're making it with siblings who may have a difference of opinion than you. Yeah. I think for me personally, that's just for me personally, I would not put my mother in a nursing home. But that's not to say if others felt that she should, that they're bad people for thinking that. I personally I have not been socialized to think that that's okay. So I realize that's all that is. But if you go to St. Vincent today, the generation today, they are utilizing the nursing homes here.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
You know, even when the kids are there in St. Vincent. So we all could say, oh, I'm not going to put it in a nursing home, or oh, I don't want to go in a nursing home. You have to make an individual decision. If, for instance, what you were saying, you instead of them being at the house where somebody's going to need to turn them, you're going to need to not just turn them, but give them their medication, do whatever medical stuff needs to be done. Sometimes a nursing home is more appropriate for that kind of care that you couldn't get from just being in my house. If you're in relatively good health but just aging, then you can just get a room in your house for mom and have an aide come in. If mom has a lot of medical issues going on, a home type setting may not be appropriate for her.
Right.
So it really is a difficult one.
Let me.
Okay, what do you think? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have to say this because the thing is that, you know, you have to live through it. I've lived through it twice.
Thank you.
Okay. My father first, who was he was about 28 years older than my mother, so he was like 91 when he passed away, and I was pretty young. And my mom was taking care of him, and she had not had the best health either. And she had to take care of him. And towards the end, he had to go in. He went in for surgery, and he had cancer, prostate cancer, which shouldn't kill people, but he was
at that age.
But he went into the hospital in the rehab part of the nursing home. And in there, other complications happened. Anyway, make a long story short, both his legs got amputated. Ooh. And he never made it out of there. So that was a little bit different. This was a rehabilitation center. Now my mom, who also passed away about 11 years ago, she lived with me for 4 years because immediately after my father died, my husband and I brought her to our house to live with us. My mom was very sick, diabetes and hypertension, all kinds of things, and then kidney and dialysis, everything. And that takes a toll on your body. And I had 2 very young kids at the time and working, both my husband and I working. We brought in, when it got really bad, she had 1 leg amputated. I was still doing everything that I could. We brought in help, and help costs. It's not always free, okay? And so we brought in the help to help her. Eventually, again, this was, 4 years after, and I was stressed out. I was really, really bad. And I was like, no way my mom's going to no nursing home. No way. And there were 5 of us. I have 4 other siblings, okay? But the burden was also on us. The last time when she went to the hospital, she had a 2nd leg that was amputated.
Oh, so she had both?
Both legs were amputated. She was very ill, and she's the one, against my wishes, that said, I have to be in a nursing home. This is just too much. I see what's happening to you. So she went into rehabilitation. She says, I'm not coming back home. She says, I'm going to stay in a nursing home. And I know the way we as people of color, we don't... And
from the Caribbean.
Caribbean back. We don't put our parents in nursing homes. So she knew that I was not going to, I wouldn't have done anything. So she made that decision, and she lasted maybe like another 2 years. But she saw what the toll was, and she made the choice, So it's not an easy thing. We don't believe in it. I to this day still don't believe in it. Never a first choice, never a second or a third. It has to be absolutely necessary. And still I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
And the good thing with her is that there were at least 5 of us, so somebody was there every single day. Because these places, facilities, you have to watch what goes on. You can't just dump your parents or whoever and leave them there. So it's a very hard decision. And now this is 11 years later. To this day, you know, I'm feeling really emotional because it still hurts my heart. I wish I hadn't made that, you know, let her do it, but she had to do what was best. So it's a very hard
and I think I could be like your mom. If I see that it's a lot of stress on the children, I think I would tell them, just put me in a good home and visit me often. But I think I would do that because I don't think I want. But I know my mother, how she feels about that. So I would have to not do that because I would want to give her that wish. But I wouldn't put anybody down for doing it because I feel that it's an individual decision and the different health factors that could come into that. And I remember when your mom was around, you guys would even bring her home when there was an event or something, and you get that ambulance and
took
get
her
her
out of there.
Yeah.
We visited her. We took her to every single family thing, and you know, at least, you know, every week as much as we could, we'd bring her back to my house, you know, and stuff like. So we took her out, and you know, but it was very difficult.
It was very difficult.
I did the same thing too, but mine was a little different. My mother developed Alzheimer's at home. Not living with me, she had an apartment because she preferred that. And we had people coming in. She developed that disease, and I'm telling you, it's not easy to deal with someone like that.
Right.
She started giving away everything in the apartment.
Oh my goodness.
Everything would take there, she give it away. Because she's not, you know, so right in the middle of that, she had a stroke. And my girlfriend, who was in charge of these fabulous nursing homes in Long Island, I said, look, find a room for me, because so I went out, I did the course, how to deal with an Alzheimer's patient, and then I would visit my mother every day, you know, but I was very comfortable with it because the institution was okay.
A very good one, yeah.
And I wouldn't take that back. I mean, she has 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls. There were no boys around, just the 2 of us. And it was a strain for me to have my mother in my house because I couldn't lift her. I couldn't do anything for her. So she had to go in a nursing home. And thank God, she stayed there for 8 years until she died. So it's
an individual thing.
You know, you said it's an individual thing.
Yeah, and you have to look at what's best for the patient and what's best for the family as a whole. Because do you know they say a great percentage of the caregivers for Alzheimer's and elderly people die before them because of the stress? So you don't want to put people down. Like I said, for me, because I knew my mother does not want to go in a nursing home, and I would want to give her that wish. So if you're listening, somehow don't think that changed my view on that mother. But I know I wouldn't put other people down. I would say I saw a situation when I was in St. Vincent. This lady, the father got elderly, and she put the father in a nursing home. She lived in the house. She ain't doing anything that wouldn't. He eventually died right after I came back. She ain't exactly so busy that she can't take care of the father, but it's like he's older now. Just push him out of the way. That, I mean, he was sick, but I mean, I think somebody could have come in and help her out. And so we are seeing that also, where children don't want to work for what they're going to inherit. Like, you didn't help me get what I got. You think you're just going to get it for free? You got to work for it a little bit. And work for it doesn't mean you come clean me and turn me and this and that. It means that you make sure somebody's there doing it.
Yeah, true.
And that I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know.
I feel the first choice is to try to take care of your parent as much as you can until the point that you cannot. You know what I mean? And then do what you have to do.
Good way to think of it, yeah. And then you do what you have to do. You can't judge people because you don't know what the circumstances are. All right, well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to go into the Dear Help Team section of our show. We'll be right back. You are watching QX-TV, Cultural Experience Television. We will be right back. Visit Elias Restaurant, a unique Greek Caribbean fusion restaurant where the food is heavenly, the service divine, and ambience mesmerizing. Enjoy bakes and saltfish, roti, jerk chicken, curry chicken, stew fish, oxtail, curry goat, stew turkey, pea soup, cow-foot soup, sour beer, ginger beer, Slovaki dinners, clubhouse sandwiches, and so much more. Visit Elias Restaurant, located at 3310 King Street in Toronto, Canada. You are watching Caribbean House Talk. Alright, so welcome back to Caribbean House Talk, and we are now about to delve into the Dear Health Team section of our show. So, Dear Health Team, should you tell your spouse or partner your secrets from your past? Do you think that's ever a good idea?
No.
No.
I say no.
No, I think what,
I want you to elaborate. Don't just tell me no. You haven't told
it don't matter what I do. The thing is I think you have to be careful. What's in the past is the past, and it's your past. Keep your mouth shut. Okay?
What's it?
Because things can come back to bite you.
I would not tell my husband anything from my past. My past is my past, according to Caroline, and it's in the past. Leave it there. There's no need to take anything from there and bring it here. What are you trying to prove? You know? And who knows? He have a past too. Is he telling you everything in his past?
Right.
No,
probably
no
not.
matter what he tell you, he's not telling you everything, and he only telling you the good part. The
And
part
probably
that
that's all you need to. Right.
Yeah.
but my question is,
So,
what if he asks you about something in your past? Would you elaborate or?
No, I don't think you should even ask me anything
But
from
wouldn't
my
that
past
look
because
be suspicious?
I don't care how it look. You have no reason to ask me that, and there is no need for you to bring that up because I'm not going to bring up your past. Don't try to bring up mine. Not that I have anything in my past to hide, because honestly there are people who meet my husband and tell him things about me, which is all good, but he knows who I am. I mean, my heart is just what it is. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get.
So,
And
Liz,
the
have you
things
told
that-
your gentleman
You don't
any
know what I
dark
have to
secret?
say?
I don't.
She don't know what I have to
No,
say.
you go,
because
you go.
It's
There's not
not.
even
She look like she's busted to something.
We don't
No, it's
have
not
dark
stimulating.
My past was such fun. You know, I was a fun person all my life. So my past, you know, that I danced. What else do you want to find out? Nothing. There's nothing really that I'm going to tell you.
I think when
No,
I'm thinking of
nothing.
past, I'm thinking like it could be relationships.
I mean, if I did
it
a
could be
murder,
certain
then-
things like that. You know, I just think you have to be careful
You have
with
to
some
be
of the
very
things you say.
careful.
My mom always said, "You don't tell a man everything."
No.
You don't.
There's some things, and you don't tell your friends everything. Some
You
things you
don't.
need to just keep to yourself.
Sometimes you don't even tell yourself
And I think
certain
women,
things.
we can accept things and handle things a whole lot better than men can.
Yeah.
They will hold it. They will see you every time they see you. They're gonna.
Oh, you get an
they'll bring it out.
argument.
They'll-
Oh, you get an
yeah,
argument, yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
so I think sometimes certain things you just need to keep to yourself. That's all.
Man, I used to be one of those people that think every relationship I have to be clean, come clean, and I gotta tell you
Oh,
so that we have no
no.
secrets. That is so stupid.
Yeah,
That was so stupid. Now you see why I screwed up so many times.
That man have more
Now-
secrets than you.
Yeah,
ever
and now I'm
imagine.
like, that is none of your business. I don't need to tell you that.
No.
Okay? And like you said, you don't even need to answer me. Ask me. You
No,
shouldn't
what
even
are
be
you
asking
asking me
me.
that for?
That
That's
sort
not
of
your
thing.
business. If
You
you
know?
want to have a relationship with me, deal with me here and now. This is our time. Whatever happened back there have nothing to do with you. You
Right.
can't even relate to that because
Right.
it's been gone. It's
Right.
it's not your business.
That's
If I
true.
choose to say something, I will say something, but that doesn't mean I have to go into detail and tell you. No,
How many boyfriends you had?
exactly.
How
I
old
wish
were
I had a
you
couple.
when you first did it?
Well, that you know.
You tell me.
But,
I want to
you know.
know. I'd ask the same question. If you're gonna ask me, I'm gonna ask you then.
I know.
Oh my Lord.
Just as that you were talking about dating and back when you were younger and stuff. So I said, if I know half the stuff I know now back then, I would have been a different person, honestly. But there's a lot of things back then that you didn't. And that's where you learn. It's a learning curve that you have to take and turn and twist and it's life. So if you don't
Yeah, I used to
gather
tell
anything
too much,
from
man.
that.
I was the queen of telling too much. Like,
No, you
like,
can't.
you gotta come clean. Come clean with what? I wasn't a drug addict. I wasn't an alcoholic. I wasn't out of prostitution.
You just lived.
Actually, my life was actually kind of boring.
You lived the teenage life. Your teenage life is your teenage life. Your teenage years are gone. That part of
I could tell you about my travels and interesting things I've done. The writing my books. I could tell you, but I am not going into no deep dark secrets. So
yeah,
you
and there's
listen
no
out there.
deep dark secret either.
Yeah. I don't have deep dark secrets. That's the truth. I'm not trying to make myself out to be.
You hiding.
I've done stupid things, mainly in who I picked to be in my life, but I don't have.
I did a lot of stupid
deep dark
things.
stuff. You know what I mean?
We all do, but
Yeah. So anyway, that's life.
All right. So we're going to head right into the holistic section, and today we're going to do something on health benefits of papaya. Papaya, it sort of looks like in color like a mango, but it's more like a melon, and it has a lot of seeds on the inside. I don't have any papaya. Yeah, papaya. I have a lot of them on my land since it is, and I didn't realize this thing was so good.
that thing's good.
So a lady, I know you had a procedure, so we're not going to strain your eyes today. We'll have you next time. But I decided to help you out here with your, and I won't do it justice, because when you do one of these reporting, you do it in depth, okay? Now let me say this, we're not medical doctors or medical professionals at all. We don't tell you the things that we talk about. We're not telling you that if you have your diabetes or your high blood pressure or your stroke or your whatever, or use this holistic thing and don't do what these doctors are telling you. That would be very foolish. And you'd be very foolish doing that. I have borderline hypertensive. Thank God that's all I have a medication I'm using for. But I use my medication. I'm not trying to be crazy. But what I say to people, if you're a relatively healthy person, and you might have a family history of certain things, even if you don't have a family history, maybe some of these things are good to incorporate to kind of hopefully, if the report is true, it could enhance your health. And the worst case, it won't do any good more than be a fruit that you eat. So we just want to, make that disclaimer and make sure people understand. And if you're trying to use something, let's say you're on any medication, and you want to make any kind of change to your medication or add anything to your medication, you need to talk to your doctor and make sure that he's on point with what you're doing. Because even herbal stuff could mix adversely with your medication. So we don't want you playing with that. So it is reported that papaya lowers cholesterol. It is rich in fiber, vitamin C, and antioxidants, which prevent cholesterol buildup in your arteries. That's one. The other, it helps in weight loss. It reportedly boosts your immune system. It's reportedly good for diabetes. It is believed that it is great for your eyes. It is believed to protect against arthritis. It improves digestion. Reportedly, it is reported to also help ease menstrual pain, prevents sign of aging, prevents cancer, and help reduce stress. Now, if this thing really have all of these stuff, that's a lot. But again, don't look at it as a magic bullet. Again, you're a healthy person. Maybe start to incorporate some of these things into your life. It's just a fruit. It's not gonna, unless you're diabetic and you want to be careful, because a lot of people that are diabetic, they say, oh, it's fruit. Let me eat as much as I want. No, they have a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar. So that's what we have to say on papaya. Anybody had any? One of the experience I had, though, I have to really share this. When I'm in St. Louis, I get a lot of fruits on my land next door, and one of them is papaya, guava, soursop, passion fruit, all this good stuff. And I have moringa there and stuff like that. So I got up in the morning, somebody brought me some fruits, and I decided when I'm there, I'm not gonna make breakfast. I was there by myself. I'm like, there's a little girl staying with me, but she goes to school, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get some fruits and just eat. And I had some papaya. I had a whole papaya. It wasn't a huge one, but it was a good size. And I had the worst cramp that you could ever experience. Now, you might say, well, you just said it was good for all these things, and now you're saying something negative. No, one of the things I learned, you should not eat it on an empty stomach.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as good as it is, it did. And I got scared. I thought, oh my God, it felt like I was about to die. So if you're gonna eat papaya, make sure that you're eating other stuff, not just have that be the only thing in your stomach.
And they say the seeds, you shouldn't throw the seeds out.
I heard that has a lot of
it has
benefits.
more mineral than the
Than the
papaya
papaya
itself.
itself.
So
Yeah,
I
but it's
tried
just so
doing it, but
grainy.
it is. I put it in the thing
The
and
blender?
and not the blender. There's a machine that I have that
The
crushes it like
Mm-hmm.
and make it a little powdery, and I mix it with my other stuff. You know, I don't know what it does, but you know, they say it's very good for you.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Too bad we don't have any here. So
I know, we didn't grow-
It's not fresh.
Yeah.
though. It's in supermarket.
But you can look it up and you'll see a
Yeah.
picture. Just Google it. Papaya. P-A, what is it? P-A-P-A-Y-A. Right. P-A-P-A-Y-A. Just look up
Papaya.
papaya. And they'll show you, because I saw one on Google and it even it shows you the inside. It's cut in two. Shows you the inside. Very, very good fruit to eat. But again, don't eat it on an empty stomach. So that's our holistic health tip for today. Now to some news
Juicy.
or juicy tidbits.
what?
Today, it's not going to be juicy tidbits, it's going to be a government shutdown. Oh, Lord.
Government shut down.
Where the president shut down the government for I think like 35 days.
Oh.
And federal workers going to get paid for over a month. And it's all because he wants a border wall. I swear. You know what, folks?
I'm
I
beyond
swear.
words.
Which he now has declared the emergency.
Right. He's declaring so the monies, and then don't think people might realize this, monies are going to be taken from true emergencies to put in something that's not an emergency. There's so many reasons that his border wall thing is not a reality, but it's something he followed. He promised the base, and 2020 elections are coming up, and he want to make sure I fought hard to give them that wall. Meantime, the less people coming through the border. Most of the people that coming in here through the airports and then overstaying, it's not through the border that he's trying to act.
Well, that's the promise he made to his base, so of course he wants to
Gotta put on a shelf for them.
satisfy that promise,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
at the expense of what?
But
You know.
and he know. I think he knows. This might be. I think he knows that this is not going to become. It's not going to come to fruition. I think he knows that that whole emergency thing is not because he's going to be taken to the courts, and if they have to push it to the Supreme Court, it will go there, and he's not going to get away with it. There's nothing about this that shows it's a emergency. He lies a lot. This guy is a pathological liar, and he lies a lot about what is the real reason he wants the wall. And when people check the facts, so he's fact checked, it doesn't add up. So, but these poor people sitting there without a salary for a month. Just imagine that. Ay, ay, ay.
And what was looming over that must have been more pressure too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing what was going to happen this past Friday, because people were on alert.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know whether there was going to be a shutdown or not.
I know.
So that's a lot of pressure on people,
Mm-hmm.
but people are still there for him.
Yeah. I want you lady to stand up because you have on an Oma Weiss outfit, and it is so beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Are you able to pick this up? Oh, look at that. She's also glamorous. Wow.
Look in the camera.
Yes, yes.
And our designer Irma right
Oma
here.
Weiss, yeah.
It's Irma.
Oh my gosh.
Design. Beautiful.
You know, on March 24th, I'm going to be honored by the National Action Network here in Long Island, in Flora Park. We're going to be having they're going to be honoring me for my work that I've done in my community.
Yeah.
So you ladies, I don't think you could make it, but I know the other two ladies are making it.
Where you
And I'm hoping if I have enough time to get a Weiss outfit to wear, but Lord, I don't know. I'm just trying to make the time to pin myself down to go pin her down.
Pin her down.
You know, but that would be nice because usually when she put me on something, it looks good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right, so that is all for this edition of Caribbean House Talk, where we always bring you the issues from funny to curious and even carefully serious. Thank you for joining us on this edition, and we look forward to seeing you on the next edition of Caribbean House Talk. Bye-bye.
Bye.